Hey, it's Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com, and let's talk about those little bitty plastic pillowy things, myofunctional BioTrainers, whatever you want to call them, that everyone is using now in that kind of 2 to 10 age range. I told you guys 8 years ago, 10 years ago, that this was going to happen. I told you guys venture capitalists were going to get into this space because it's just anything that's just low hanging fruit, like crazy low hanging fruit, they're going to figure it out eventually. So I warned you guys it was going to happen. I told all the pediatric dentists to get on board. Why aren't the orthodontists using these? Some are. Some are. There's nothing magical about them. All they do is they remind a patient to have the right tongue posture and the right swallowing posture. That's all it is. This is something you can teach your kid on your own. And to be honest, if you have the right diet, the right habits, the right posture, the right nasal breathing starting from birth, um, you don't need these things. And these things only work if they're actually worn actively, which means you can't just wear them at night. And a lot of times they're only getting worn at night and then they're getting flung across the room. So they're really not going to do anything. The only times I've seen these do magical stuff, and it's not all a bunch of hocus pocus, because I've seen some of them are better made than others, but I've seen some really magical stuff in especially the homeschooling community and or the neurodivergent community where these kids are home with their mamas all day anyways. And a lot of patients, they like biting on these, they like chewing on these. If they have an oral fixation habit and they actually wear this thing actively, it does work magically. But that takes a regular neurotypical normative kind of patient. Cis normative is not gonna want to wear that all the time. It's not realistic. It's not realistic for every type of patient, but for the right patient, heck yeah, let's do it. Definitely. And I like to give these out, and I have done it before, as almost a litmus test, especially in the littles, just to see if they'd be willing. First of all, can they even keep it in their mouth? Can they keep it in the mouth during the day for a cartoon or a movie? Can they keep it without drooling, without struggling to take it out? Um, there's not, if they can't keep it in, y'all, this is not, you can't force them, because sometimes they're struggling, like it takes up so much space that they're struggling to breathe because it takes up space because their mouth is not big enough yet. It's if their mouth's not big enough, you can't retrain a tongue or do stuff. That doesn't make any sense. This is like sloppy myofunctional therapy. And if you work with an actual myofunctional therapist, they will do things properly. This is a lazy way to do things, in my opinion. So I'm just telling y'all because a lot of you guys think you guys are charging a lot of money for these, and you're gonna end up with lawsuits. The stuff that's going to go down is going to be bad, with if you're making promises, especially if you're billing insurance with these. Holy cow, I would not do that, but again, my own opinion. So I have a lot of other content. Yes, I think they're fabulous in a practice. I think they'd be amazing in a pediatric dental practice. I mean, obviously you got to build properly and don't have manage your expectations, and I kind of like this. I almost like the idea of not billing for it and just using it, almost as just a way to see if a patient can nasal breathe at night, can keep it in at night. And if they're able to keep it at night and they're coming in and it's dirty, and you're seeing some improvement in their bites, well, then that tells me they're probably going to be an amazing phase 1 patient. So let's flip them into a phase 1 patient that I want to keep in my office. If they're not being compliant, they're either struggling, they're either going to need to go to ENT or they're going to need to go to Myo. And sometimes they need to have their TNAs out done first. So see all my other content on ENTs, what comes first, braces, expanders, or ENT, or braces, expanders, or Myo, or which one comes first. That's a triangle. We got to figure out which one comes first, right? And it's not the same on every patient. So no harm in doing these for sure, but I certainly wouldn't make any promises. And it's a great way for you to find amazing patients to keep in your practice that you'll probably have a very successful phase 1 on. And anyone you have a successful phase 1 on, you're going to probably have an easy phase 2 to do, and you're probably going to get the siblings and parents as well. So it's a win-win in my opinion if you can find one, but do not pay thousands or don't pay anything to get certified. I mean, if you got to pay something to get certified to prescribe something, that's insane. So, I mean, you guys should know your stuff and you should know how to use these. And these only cost a couple dollars to make, realistically. Come on, you know how much these really cost and you know where they're made. So if they're having like 1,000% markup, F this. No, move on. There's ones out there that aren't that bad, that are decent. All right, thanks.